guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video to any of you having a Hyundai Sonata guys with a 2.4 GDI engine and you need to find timing marks or you need to see how to install timing chain, including the oil pump timing chain and the counterbalance shaft chain as well. Stay with us, we'll explain that everything step by step with the torque specs, everything you need to know. So make sure to stay until the end and we'll explain how to do that safely. And what you need to do every time you replace the timing chain or you install the timing chain. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission at the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. That way we can keep making these free videos for you. Now, if you guys need to buy any parts tools for a good price and quick shipping, check out the link in the description of the video below. That's where we get all our tools and supplies from. So, now, let's go ahead and explain here what we have. This is a 2.4 GDI engine out of that Hyundai Sonata. Now, you need to make sure you bring the engine to TDC point. You can always put the timing cover, put the pulley and bring it to TDC point, but on this specific engine, when that dot here and the mark, okay, you have a mark right here, or if you look at the key on the crankshaft, it needs to be parallel on the left side, okay, with the lower, okay, crankcase, okay, right here and the engine block. So it needs to be parallel guys, just like that. Now what we need to do, we need to next, okay, grab the chain for the oil pump and the counterbalance shaft assembly. Okay, and on the left side we're going to have the covered links on the left side, okay, and you need to match the covered link with the dot here. Perfect, just like that. Next, we're going to grab the oil pump assembly. Okay, let's inspect everything to make sure it's good. So, if you look at it now, okay, we need to adjust, okay, the counterbalance shaft and oil pump shaft, okay, with that marked tooth. Okay, the dot goes with the marked tooth. We install it now. Okay, we need to come a little bit to the side here because it will not come. There, we need to install it on the engine. Okay, let me see. Okay, like that. We're going to install both. Okay, just we'll catch one so it doesn't fall. Then we'll continue, okay, installing the rest of the bolts. Okay, like that. Perfect. Now, if you look guys, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, this one, it may be, okay, it may get a little bit stuck sometimes, so you might need to see, okay, you have, okay, perfect, just like that. You need to make sure that the short side will be on the left side, make sure it doesn't jump. You can see where the dot is with the cover tooth and one here. We're going to install the oil pump bolts. If you want to see the torque specs for the oil pump bolts, okay, we have it on the channel for oil pump replacement guys, if you need to check that. So we'll get those tight and we'll continue. So we install the oil pump. Now we're going to get the slack out of the chain. We're going to install the timing chain guide, okay, on this side. This is just a plastic timing chain guide. Okay, it goes like that. Yep, just like that. So let's, okay, no, we have it the other way. We need to install it the other way, like that. Perfect. Oh, we dropped it. So let's hold it now. It goes only one way. Now those 10mm bolts, the bolts with the 10mm socket, most of them says between 9.8 and 11.8 Newton meters. When you hear the click, you need to stop immediately. So let's go ahead, do that now. Perfect. Perfect. Now we need to turn it on this side to get the slack out of it. Okay, here we're going to install the tensioner arm first. No, 1 second. We need to install this one first. So this is the tensioner arm that we need to get tight with the same torque specs, 9.8 to 11.8. We're at around 11. Perfect. Now we're going to, the tensioner is just spring loaded, it's not hydraulic on that engine. You pretty much compress it, you install a pin, it holds it in place. Okay, now I'm going to hold that one here install that one. Okay, wrong hole. Okay, perfect. Now let's get this one tied. You need to make sure that the tensioner gets under the lip here, because that's a common mistake as well that people will make sometimes. Okay, remember 11.8 is max torque on this. Perfect. Now we need to install, okay, let's release it. Okay, make sure it goes under the lip here, pull it a little bit to the side. This one is ready. Now we need to install the guide right here. That's the plastic guide. Okay, that goes with 3 bolts, so let's go ahead. Okay, do that now. Okay, all of them practically fell out while I was holding them. So this is the next one we need to do. On top, okay, on top you need to have the camshafts, okay, where the orange dots are pointing. Okay, you can see the intake to the right, the exhaust to the left. So we're just going to get the slack out of those so we can use the torque wrench. Okay, now same torque specs for those as well. Let's do that. Perfect. Great. Now we can install the timing chain. So the timing chain sprocket goes on the bottom. Okay, the dot, okay, you can see it come, okay, like that. You cannot confuse that one, I believe. Okay, no dot on the other side. Yep, perfect. Now we get the chain. The 2 short covered links go on top. The bottom one, okay, if you look guys, okay, it's right here now at almost 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna hold it here now. Then we'll start installing it to the top on the camshafts. Okay, we need to bring it, the cover dots, okay, there is a mistake here now. Okay, right here on one of those, okay, it needs to come like that. Okay, one camshaft is good, covered link with a cover dot. Now right here, 1 second, because the chain got stuck here. Okay, we might need to do some moving around this one. Okay, it's this one that we need to bring. Check this thing out. Now that's the timing marks right here. This one needs to be parallel to the cylinder head, and this needs to be parallel as well. So we'll get a wrench a little bit. Okay, 1 second, we jumped out of here. Nope, 1, okay, like that. Okay, let's pull it now. Let's see, okay. In this case, okay, we need to turn this one just a little bit to get the slack out of it. Okay, so let me see, okay, how the bottom is now. Okay, and if it's, we need to get a little bit of slack right here on the crankshaft. I think we spun the crankshaft, so we need to just turn on this side a little bit. So let's get the chain in first. I'll show you now. Let's get the chain in on the top. Okay, so now we're going to get it on the top, covered link with cover dot. This one and this one needs to be parallel right here. And now on the bottom, only thing left, okay, is to bring right here. Okay, we need to just turn the crankshaft just a hair, guys. Okay, so if we install the pulley, we can just gently, okay, turn it. Okay, that's it. I think that's it. Yep, perfect. It just needed a hair, and that one matches with that one as well. We'll show you what else we need to do to make sure the timing is right. Well, before we install the tensioner, verify that everything is good everywhere. The 2 timing marks on top, 2 dots, and the one on the bottom. So we're going to install the tensioner arm now. Okay, perfect. And let's go ahead, get this one tight. 11.8, 9.8 to 11.8 Newton meters. Perfect. Now the tensioner itself, okay, let's get the tensioner. It's a hydraulic tensioner. I recommend to always replace those when you're replacing timing chain. What do you do? Okay, you have a tooth here, and when you grab that tooth, you push it back okay, and when you push it back to a certain position, okay, you can actually compress the tensioner, but you need to stop before the last two or three teeth, so it can compress all the way. We're going to put the pin. We'll install the tensioner now. Okay, now let's get the torque wrench. Same torque specs, 9.8 to 11.8. Perfect. Release it now. Make sure the tensioner arm goes on top of the tensioner. Release it now. Grab it. Pull the slack out of it with your hands only. Okay, do not use any prying tools to make sure you don't have any slack in the chain. Now, you need to verify again. The dot is here. Okay, 1 second. Dots here on the bottom. Verify the chain for the oil pump as well. On top we have this matching here, this one here, and you have right there as well. Now, you need to remove the spark box at that point and gently turn the engine 2 revolutions minimum, because for every 2 revolutions on the crankshaft, the camshaft does 1 revolution. So let's go ahead, do that slowly. If it stops, don't force things. You may be hitting a valve and something's bad. So we will go ahead, okay? We'll go ahead, do that. I'll recommend to spin it 4 or 5 times minimum. 2 is the minimum actually, but go ahead, spin it, make sure everything's good. Then bring it to TDC point a little bit more. 1 more revolution, because watch now, that's, even though it's TDC here, for every 2 revolutions on the crankshaft, camshaft does 1 revolution, so our cover dots are on the bottom. They need to come on top, so do 1 more revolution. Bring it, okay, perfect. Right there, you can see we're at TDC point. This one is pointing at 9 o'clock practically. And here, if you look, this mark right here, this one and the plane behind it, everything matches. So that's how you install the timing chain, and that's the timing mark. So hopefully guys, the video will be helpful to any of you needing help with that. Thank you for watching and see you next time.